Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. These three legendary wrestlers were all in a group together. And yo, ever since these three debuted, they dominated the wrestling industry. They used to pull up from the crowd, jump every legend that stood in their path, and the three just became unstoppable. I'm telling you, the Shield was just the coolest. They had their army vests like they just came from a battle, and if you looked at them wrong, they was throwing straight hands and feet with the quickness. Bro, every kid wanted to act like them, and every kid loved to watch them. They became fan favorites instantly, and for the last 12 years, these three changed the game together and by themselves. These three all became the top stars in all of pro wrestling. Every era in wrestling has those wrestlers that's just the coolest. From all the way back in the 80s, they used to have Macho Man Randy Savage and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Those two definitely were the coolest in their time, especially with their promos and the way they dressed. Bro, their style was fire. Then in the Attitude Era, it was Austin and Rock, the two most entertaining wrestlers of all time. They had more charisma than anyone. A few years after that, in the Ruthless Aggression, we had Chain Gang John Cena just bring all that energy and all that swag. But in the PG era, we really didn't have that at first. We definitely saw flashes of that cool wrestler from CM Punk, but with a lot of the booking decisions the WWE made, it definitely slowed his momentum a lot at times. But on November 18th, 2012, all of this was gonna change. The WWE was finally gonna give us the faces of the future. During the main event of Survivor Series, we got the tough debut of the Shield. They pulled up from the crowd wearing all black. They went straight for Ryback, beat him up, and then slammed him through a table, and the Shield just left. For weeks, the Shield showed their true dominance. Bro, they was quick to attack, they wanted action with anyone and everyone, and that right there was gonna lead to a big match for them. At TLC, they were gonna face Ryback and Team Hell No in their debut match. This was a hood classic. It was a perfect debut match for them. It showed how these three were gonna fight together and how these three were willing to do anything to get the win. This is a match I remember watching when I was younger, and this was all I needed to see to know the Shield was no joke. This was the beginning of a big undefeated stretch for them. For the next 7 months, the Shield went through the biggest names and the biggest teams, and they didn't lose. We even saw them beat up The Undertaker on SmackDown. Bruh, not just any faction could do that, but the Shield showed something different. The thing that made the Shield so unique was that each member was totally different from the next. Dean Ambrose to me was the leader of the pack, but was also the hothead and the crazy one, the one that wanted straight hands with everyone. Seth Rollins was the brains of the group, the mastermind, and the architect. Roman Reigns was the powerhouse. He was the one that did all the heavy lifting, and he was just the big dog. And with that made this group have no flaws, because together, they had no weakness. And they started to show everyone they were really the future of the WWE. A big event for all of them was Extreme Rules 2013. This was the night every member became a champion. Dean Ambrose was the US champ, and Rollins and Reigns were the tag champs, and it was perfect like this. For months, now that they were all champs, everyone knew what was up. They were just three brothers that fought like a pack of dogs, and the fans started to fall in love with them. And I mean, like, who couldn't? They was just super badass, and they only got better, because for their next program, we got some of their best work. We got to see the Brotherhood versus Shield. The Rose family had their jobs on the line, and the Shield was trying to end it all. And I'm not gonna lie, looking back at this match brings so much nostalgia for me. This match was a classic from my childhood, and it's a match I'll always love. The Shield was just giving us a lot of bangers. And at this point, even though the Shield lost their tag titles, they were still fan favorites. They were just the best faction in the WWE, and it wasn't even close. Nah, to be for real, I'm capping. Because there was another faction that had something to say about that. It was the Wyatt family. Man, the Wyatt family was something else. They were on fire at this time. This was coming off their iconic feud with Daniel Bryan when Bryan even joined the Wyatts. But when it was all said and done, he turned on them. And the crowd gave us one of the biggest pops in wrestling history. So bro, the Wyatt family and the Shield were both at their peaks. They were both loved by the fans. But they just never got to fight each other. This was a dream match waiting to happen. And we wouldn't have to wait much longer. At Elimination Chamber 2014, we got the two biggest factions of the PG era finally face off. The Wyatt family versus the Shield. Which faction was the most dominant? The crowd was 50-50 between the two. This was a match every fan wanted to see, and they gave us something special. Honestly, this is my favorite 6-man tag match ever, cause it was a banger. Even though the Shield's been taking a few L's, they were still the hottest group in the company, and Raw at the WrestleMania 30 proved exactly that. After Daniel Bryan won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the Authority was doing everything in their power to take it away. They even wanted the Shield to get involved to take the belts from Bryan. But nah, the Shield became good guys and destroyed the Authority. Daniel Bryan kept his belts, and the Shield was now on the Authority's radar. Well, actually, after the Shield turned on the Authority, Triple H brought back one of the most dominant factions of all time, Evolution. Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton wanted all the smoke with the Shield, and this set up two fire matches between the groups. Actually, wars. The first one was at Extreme Rules, and this match was tough. It was mad action, and the Shield went up 1-0. Then the second match was at Payback. It was no talking and it was just straight hands. The best part about this match was that it was an elimination with no rules. So we saw these six go to war. They was fighting in the crowd at the entrance ramp, and this match gave you everything you wanted to see. The Shield really gave us a performance of a lifetime. The Shield eliminated each member of Evolution one by one, and the Shield beat one of the most dominant factions twice. The Shield was on top of the world. But June 2nd, 2014, the night after the big sweep against Evolution, it was Monday Night Raw. To end the show, we got the Shield in a ring, but then Triple H came out with Randy Orton, and it got serious. So Rollins went and got a chair just in case. But then Triple H told them, yesterday was plan A, tonight is plan B. Bro, this dude shocked the world. Nobody thought this was gonna happen. This was heartbreaking. When it happened, it just felt unreal. Seth Rollins broke every fan's heart and he became the biggest villain on earth in 5 seconds. After one of the biggest turns in history, the three Shield members all branched off and did their own thing. Rollins became the biggest op. He became corporate. He was just a snake. For the youngins watching this, he was Dom in 2023, but he had the Money in the Bank briefcase. So yeah, I hated him. Now my boy Dean Ambrose was on get back timing. He wanted smoke with Rollins every day, 24/7. He wasn't giving him a break. For Roman Reigns, he became an instant main eventer, and that made him start to become hated. It all just felt too fast for a lot of fans. Like when he won the 2015 Royal Rumble and The Rock came out to help him win, and the crowd still booed him out the arena. Bruh, that was crazy. Since Roman won the 2015 Rumble, the WrestleMania 31 main event was set. We were getting Roman vs Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Honestly, I had stopped watching wrestling around this time, so I never seen it. But bro, everyone says the hype for this match was terrible. Brock's contract was coming up and nobody wanted Roman to win this match. So WWE had to shock everyone and give us the heist of the century. Yo, Rollins did the unthinkable again. He was the first to ever do it, and he got another one over Roman. Looking back at Rollins' reign, it seemed pretty fun. He had feuds with Dean Ambrose, Sting, and John Cena. Now I know the match with Sting didn't end out good, but the feud was fun. Then at SummerSlam 15, Rollins became the US champion, while being the WWE champion. But sadly, his reign ended sooner than expected. He injured his knee at a live event, and he was forced to relinquish his title. The next WWE champion was Roman Reigns. He finally won the belt, and we saw him feud with Sheamus, Triple H, and AJ Styles, but at the end, Seth Rollins came back from injury, and he wanted the title he never lost, and Roman was holding it. Rollins vs Reigns for the WWE Championship was gonna happen at Money in the Bank 2016. Bro, just looking back at this event, it was a movie. From the opener match, we had the Money in the Bank ladder match, and this is where we saw Dean Ambrose snag the briefcase for the first time. Then for the main event, we had Roman Reigns vs Seth Rollins give us a banger, and it ended out with Rollins winning his championship back. Just a perfect winner and a perfect ending to Money in the Bank. But then my man's Dean Ambrose came out and he got back on Rollins. He cashed in his Money in the Bank the same night he won it, which is actually my personal favorite cash in ever, cause every Shield member held the WWE Championship in the same night. This just showed how legendary the Shield was. And that right there set up one of the biggest dream matches every fan wanted to see. The Shield Triple Threat match. This was one of the most anticipated matches ever. This could have easily been a WrestleMania main event. It already has so much history and story. Everyone wanted to know, who was the best Shield member? I'm not gonna lie, this match was fire, it cooked. We saw Rollins and Ambrose put the beef aside for a second to take out Roman Reigns. It worked. But Rollins wanted to reminisce, so he betrayed Dean again. This match was perfect and it had the perfect winner. Ambrose never really gets the credit, so he truly deserved that win. The Shield was my favorite faction growing up and one of my favorite factions of all time. After 2016, we got to see the reunion. Yeah, younger me loved this. My favorite group was back together, and it was really great to see. Now in 2024, the Shield members are some of the most important wrestlers in all of pro wrestling. Seth Rollins was the first World Heavyweight Champion, the MVP of WrestleMania 40, and one of the best in-ring wrestlers in the world. Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, left WWE and found a new home in AEW. He won the AEW World Championship 2 times, and he also became the first wrestler to hold the IWGP, AEW, and the WWE Championship. And for Roman Reigns, our tribal chief just had the longest reigning championship reign in the modern era. My favorite reign of all time. So yeah, the Shield truly conquered all of pro wrestling. So thanks for watching, and thanks for all the support on the content, and let me know one of y'all favorite memories of the Shield.